Hello, everybody. We are with Laura today. How's everybody doing? Hi, chat. Hi, Laura.
Isn't it interesting how we're like, hi, and then you like waiting and you're like expecting chat to be like, oh, we're good. Like little
Yeah.
voices coming out. Like, how's it going today?
How's it going, everybody? I think it's Thursday. I'm not quite
Yes.
sure, but I do know it is March 19th today. Of that, I am sure. I am sure of that because
And
everybody.
why are you
Yeah.
so sure?
Today is my mother's birthday. And I'm not going to tell you
My
how.
mother's birthday too.
Isn't that wild? Laura, my mom, I haven't spoken to her. I think, I was trying to think, 8 years, I don't think, since I've spoken to her because of Scientology disconnection. And
That's about the same amount. Yeah, about 8 years since
for
I've
you,
been declared. So obviously my
same
mom,
boat.
my mom was not talking to me at least a good year before I actually got declared.
Gosh. Did
How
you
did how did your thing go about? Like when
my ending relationship?
or like how did you know when did you know that it was going to be the last time you spoke or saw your mom when it was the last time?
Oh gosh. No, I thought it was gonna be the last time for like 2 years. I just kept feeling that way. And I actually started having panic attacks knowing for the first time in my life, knowing that at some point in the near future, I was gonna be completely cut off from everybody. But it took a while. And then I think I emailed her like maybe 4 years ago, some happy Merry Christmas or like something. And I never heard back. And actually, oh my gosh, Laura. Oh my gosh. My kid texted my mom.
I heard that recently.
My little one. Yeah, my
I
11-year-old.
heard that. I felt weird when you were saying it on the live stream. I was like, "Oh, I don't know if I had a kid, I think that would I think I would be a good mom and just let it be. But internally, I would have been so pissed and like, don't you fucking go near my daughter or my son. Like, I don't know. I would feel very, very weird. I'm still so upset at my mother. And it's fucking weird. The more therapy I'm getting, the more group counseling, the more even specific one-on-one therapies where we're talking about mothers and cults or things like this. I feel like I get more understanding and more clarity, but it makes me more upset. It almost makes me more like I love my mother for how she is, who she is.
Mm-hmm.
And she has no idea what that is. She doesn't know what the actual love I have, even though I'm so pissed and so heartbroken by her as a mother. I just think that I'm learning to love her in ways that I've never, ever loved anybody, let alone my own family. And so it makes it even harder. Like, I feel like sometimes I'm, trying to just let myself be on this day and I know that my mom has thought about me. I just know that a mother thinks about their kids on their birthday, who they've given birth to. And I know she thinks about me on my birthday. There's just no way. And so I don't know. I feel it's super hard. It's super hard because I feel hopeless. At the same time, I feel like I'm learning to understand and love my mom where she's at more than I've ever been. But I also feel like she has no concept of that. She has no concept of what love is like. And to me, it's like so weird. I can see like her total denial, like completely in a cult mentality. And with that comes so much neglect and so much abuse that occurred, and neglect of them not even being there is such a huge thing. And so, yeah, I struggle with it fucking often because there's so much upset and hate and healing and every emotion that comes with a mother being in Scientology, let alone being born and raised in Scientology, and then let alone being born and raised in the Sea Org, where your mother is in the Sea Org. It just almost seems hopeless. But there's this weird thing, I think, called love. And when I'm cleaning that up and healing that, I tend to love my mother more for who she is, even if she can't see it at the moment. And it sort of pisses me off because I feel like I deserve that love. I deserved that love as a child. And it's this weird, I always get emotional about this. It's just a weird, uncomfortable feeling where you feel, and you may feel this, where you feel so different. Like you've just been totally betrayed of a connection, a real connection of motherhood and your father. And for some reason it hits more because of the mother. I don't know if it's because I'm a female and like always wished that I had kids. And if I had a little me, man, I would have put her ass in check. Like I would have loved to have seen her grow. And my mom just doesn't know anything about me. That's the sad thing. And though I don't know much about her, I still I'm learning to have so much more love for her. And that really trips me out because I feel like, again, uncomfortable because I don't feel like she deserves it. I feel like I deserve it. And also I am now learning what I was missing through childhood. And it feels like, yes, I deserve to say I missed out on that and why don't I get it? And I also, when you learn what real love is, you understand that it's control and fear and anger that actually created Scientology and created this organization that my mom thought was love. And so that's really hard, being uncomfortable with understanding what real love is.
Yeah. Gosh. Love is not talked about in Scientology really ever, except with that signature at the end of every communication, the ML, much love,
Much love,
which is a weird
so
thing for a
gross. I
corporate
hate that word.
environment. Yeah.
I hate that word when I see it anywhere. I'm like,
Right.
ugh, don't
I
say
know.
that.
So what was the straw that broke the camel's back? Is that the expression when it came to your
Oh my
mom?
God, it was so many things. I realize now it was so many little things that I was trying to tell my mom. And it was weird. It was really always my mom. It was like my dad or my mom. Like I was like, well, if I just tell my mom, then she can communicate it to my dad and the family. If my mom will approve of this, then
Mhm.
everything is fine.
Mhm.
And that's kind of how it is because I'm sure some people watching already know this. My mom and dad were both at Gold Base, the executive headquarters of Scientology, for my whole childhood. Only 15 minutes away, yet they only allowed us to see our parents for like 2 hours on Sunday if they caught the bus to the ranch, the one bus to the ranch, or got a ride from another Sea Org member that happened to have a, spare car that they were allowed to use on free time or CSP time. So the connection of my mom was always mental. It was always like a deep fantasy, like that my mom just loves me no matter what, like so much love. And to be honest, I felt that no matter how much trouble, quote unquote, I was in at the ranch all the time, or always like, rebellious, fun, wild kid, always getting herself into trouble. I felt that my mom always kind of was easy on me when she did find out, that I blew or that I stole money, quarters from the adults, or that I was stealing from the canteen, or, things like that. There was this weird connection of some sort of love or understanding that she somehow gave to me, and she made me feel not as evil as everybody else was saying I was. And I always thought that that's love, that only my mom can have that ability. So there was this weird time that happened at the ranch when I was being spanked so much. And my mom came on Sunday morning, and I basically had a panic attack and I couldn't breathe. And she was like, "What's happening?" And so she pulls me to go do a locational to talk about it, because she's like, "Okay, first of all, you can't even breathe right now. So let's do a locational." And I thought that there would be this love, like, okay, I got to tell my mom about everything that's been happening these past 2 weeks. And it just turned into that fear of, is my mom going to be able to help me through this? Is that love still going to be there? And then it wasn't. She came back into the dorm, long story short, and basically showed me the reference from L. Ron Hubbard that said that the governess may spank or discipline the children how he or she sees fit or whatever. But I could tell that this is like a weird thing. I could tell right then that she had lost that love, that she no longer, that even though sometimes the love was control, she no longer had the ability to give it to me.
It was out of her hand. She couldn't protect you.
And so I've been holding on to this fantasy of always trying to be good and just not, hold on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, just to not like piss her off or to make things difficult, because I always felt that she put up with me in so many ways. Same with my dad, but that they put up with me in so many ways when I was being out ethics at the ranch, And so I never wanted to disappoint them. There were also parents at Gold Base, which is the executive headquarters, which is also another weight on a child's shoulder. You're not allowed to call. You're not allowed to write them and say, I had an upset. You're not even allowed to use Scientology language to explain that you are upset about somebody. It's supposed to already be handled so it doesn't go on the parents' lines. So long story longer, I realized that the first song I had joined a band. I left the Sea Org and all this, and then I joined a band with some members that were still connected to or still had family members in Scientology. And so that felt safe because it was such a non-Scientology band and the music was like wild party music. And we were just writing random freaking fun ass lyrics and we didn't give a shit. It was really fun. And so that started showing me the world. And I always remembered how hard it was to be able to talk to my mom or my dad about this forced Scientology idea. Like, I'm like starting to find out that I'm really not interested in going on course. Like, I don't want to pay my freeloader bill and do all that. Like, I was annoyed when I had come back to LA after a tour. And my dad was like, "Oh, good, you're back. When can?" And I was kind of like, "Why am I annoyed to see my dad? Like, why am I annoyed that it's only Sunday? He only gets Sunday, and it's only got to be between these times." And I wasn't excited to see him. I wanted to just be on tour and back in my art world. So long story longer, why I'm bringing all this up is music was such a fucking like angel dust, always sprinkling some sort of motivation and like love and light into my life. And later I found out like my grandma was a tap dancer and a singer, and my other grandma loves painting and would paint fucking everything. And so I know there's a lot that I don't know about my own mother. And not only that, but my mom also hid a bunch of her ballet pictures and her old life outside of before she was a Scientologist. She never wanted me to see these pictures. Another thing happened during this time. This movie Black Swan came out, and I was just in music, and I had done this. I did this music video, one of the first solo music videos that I did with my own music, and I did it with the singer of Flock of Seagulls, Mike Score. He like produced it with me, and I just felt like so cool. Like, I don't know.
That is cool.
Then Yeah, and the video, I don't know, it would be cool if we could share a little bit of it, but I'm not good at this savvy stuff unless I'm all set up, which I'm not. But the video is literally about a ballet dancer who I'm singing in my head. It's her, but it's when my mother was a ballet dancer when she was younger. It looked literally, I met this chick at a club when I was partying and going out. And this chick, I was like, oh my God, you look like my mom when she was a ballet dancer. And she was like, I am a ballet dancer. And it was like this whole thing. And I was like, no way. Do you want to be in my video? I need a lead to be her. And she was like, oh my God, that's a big role, but okay. And I was like, no, it's not. It's like, yeah. So she ended up being in it, and it was like a whole thing. We filmed the whole music video on New Year's Day, the day before New Year's of that. Like, it was just, my friends were there. They had a whole studio that their family owns in Burbank. And because there's nobody doing TV during, the holidays and all that, they were like, okay, well, the whole warehouse is going to be empty. So we went in there, this amazing studio, got a red cam, freaking, what's his name was on rollerblades, like film. It was really freaking amazing. We built the walls. I built the duct tape. I built all the art pieces, everything in this video. And this video is about how afraid I am to tell my mom that it seems like Scientology has taken away her whole life. And that I'm like, you're doing this to me now. You're trying to control me now. And I write in there, you got me now. I'm here with nothing else. I'm lost in my head. I cannot help but repeat the ways you kept me all to yourself. And then I say, just do what's best for you. Like, and then I say, it's not over until it's over. And that's when I say it's done, not when you say it's done. And I was just doing this, and I was so afraid. I swear to God, I never thought my mom would see this movie or this film. And I didn't realize, like, oh, music videos go out. They go on the YouTubes. They go out. Like, I just thought she wouldn't care because Scientology is so important. And it wouldn't matter. And no art I would do would matter because it wouldn't make sense to her. But she saw it, and I guess she had some big conversation with my dad. And then by the time I finally spoke to her, she was like, it's the most amazing thing, most amazing art piece you've done yet. Like, she didn't even get into what the story was about, nothing. That's all her acknowledgement was it's the best thing you've done yet. I'm like, but I haven't done anything else. I've only done the Little Red Radio music video. Like, anyway. So the buildup of all this, long story longer, is that my fear, being able to do that music video and say how I felt, and that being her reaction, she didn't realize gave me so much power, because I realized, oh my God, I could just say whatever I want in a song. And I don't have to actually say I'm talking about her. Because when I released the music video, a lot of people thought it was like a lesbian video that I was singing to some like ballet dancer and that I had this crush on. And I was like, cool, I don't care. Like, whatever. The idea is a heartbroken, like, dancer, and this idea of like, I'm not going to allow this to happen to me. And
is it on your channel? Can we watch it?
Yeah. And it was like, I did this almost like 15 years ago. And so I always go back to that. I feel the same way today. Is like, Mother, this video was showing you how upset and why and how hurt and crazy as a child I was. Like, how literally suppressed I was.
Right. What's the name of it?
You Got Me Now.
Okay.
Anyway, so complicated. Once I realized I could make music and do music as a outlet to communicate my feelings and how I was feeling as a child, that was so helpful. And so what shook me, what was my last straw, was realizing that eventually my parents were going to not like me anymore. And that's where we're at.
Dang. You and I are
again, I go back to it.
Different. And
I go back to the love, because I'm like, right. I'm like, I've learned to understand where my mom's at. Completely denial, brainwashed, completely programmed, hypnotized, elderly, abused woman. Like, and so I'm just sad how evil Scientology is. I feel like I'm shifting my love for my mom and understanding where she is and where I'm at and why I feel angry and why I feel resentment when it's her birthday or when I'm suffering or struggling and I think about her. I'm like, you couldn't have made this easier for us.
Right.
Like nothing. And so, yeah, I struggle. I have a lot of anger still.
Yeah. Well, sounds very justified to me.
Yeah. What was your
play
last
your video?
straw?
Can I play your video here? Let's do it. Because I really want to watch it now. Hold on.
Oh, thank you guys in the chat. And I know some of you have already heard this before, but it's our mother's birthday, so now we got to repeat it.
Right.
Is the volume on it? I wonder if you're able to hear the volume as well.
I haven't started it yet.
Okay, I've never been able to play videos and get volume while I'm on StreamYard, so we'll see.
Okay, well, in the chat, if you can like give a little thumbs up or a 1 if you can hear it, but I'll assume everybody can until we're told otherwise. All right, here we go.
Starving for your help, you think you could loan an out. Whoa, I'm feeling desperate now. I'll give you everything I've got, everything. Drained and overwhelmed, I thought we could work it out. Whoa, controlling me on my ground. I gave up everything.
They're saying that there's no sound now. Is that still? It's back. Okay, sorry guys.
And that's when you took your shot. Whoa, the time is running out. I can't wait to see what you're not. You got me now, I'm here with nothing else. Lost in my head, I cannot help but repeat the ways you kept me all to yourself. You're lost and found, but I made it on my own. Just wanted to let you know in case you have to leave me like you did before. Just do what's best for you. The shout is loud, I can't make or hear my own decision. Whoa, so I'll leave now in hopes to get out of all this confusion. It's quiet out, I had a few moments on my own. Whoa, to see your dark side and see your real intention. You got me now, I'm here with nothing else. Lost in my head, I cannot help but repeat the ways you kept me all to yourself. You're lost and found, but I made it on my own. Just wanted to let you know in case you have to leave me like you did before. Just do what's best for you.
that was a real picture of my mom. And all those pictures around me on the floor are all her ballet dancing pictures. And so I made copies, so I was able to rip one. Like, you just ripped your life away. And you're not going to do it to me. I made it on my own. I got out of the field.
Just do what's best for you.
Yeah.
My God.
That was my first music video I ever did as a solo artist. And I did
Wow.
it with the producer of Flock of Seagulls. And somebody said it's very 80s new wave. It totally is. That's my, that's the actual, that's 80s Mike, that the Flock of Seagulls are huge in the 80s. And they also toured with so many different bands. And so being able to do this, not only was I so afraid making this, I was so afraid. I had to work with a producer that didn't know about Scientology. I was so excited to meet Mike and hang out with him and get to know that, okay, he's a fun, older, cool producer guy. And he loves he literally would call me his little alien. And I was like, okay, I like that. I'm a little alien. He'd be like, where's the alien? So cute. And so, but what's great is I was able to express that. I was able to say all of this. And Mike felt it. Mike knew he could feel what this was. So, yeah. And so I really appreciate him and George, Joe, and everybody, his band all helped play guitar and awesome stuff to fatten up this song. So really fucking cool. But anyways, back to my fear of my mother. I was so afraid of her watching this music video. I was so afraid. Cindy was like, well, why don't you rip the picture? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Like during the video. So it wasn't just a music video. It was like, but Cindy, you're not going to put this, right? The director, the chick who was like, still one of my really sweet friends. I was like, you're not going to put that part, right? Rip the picture. I don't know. I might get declared, like so much stuff was going through my head. And that was 15 years ago.
Wow.
So yeah. And look at, I'm doing all of this. We do all this for what? For our mothers. You're a mother, Liz. That's something I don't know if I ever have a child, if I would be so just blessed and understand now what a child is and how that is. Or if I would be more mad that my mother wasn't giving me this love that I would have given to my own child.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about that?
There's a big part of me that was a huge part of my whole life mission, honestly, because after my older brother died, you guys, when he was 19 and I was 14, and it was a big tragedy and all should have been avoided, but it was a big slap in my face that we had been raised to believe that because we had Scientology, everything would be good. We were good. We were almost protected in a way. I never thought tragedy would occur. And so I had several tragedies in my family. My father passed away and then my brother passed away. And people were dropping like flies. Do you remember, Laura? Our friends, people we grew up with, people were getting substance abuse and passing away and ODing. People were unaliving themselves and harming themselves. I mean, I felt like for a while there, from around 13 to 18 years old, I heard of 5 to 6 people a year who just, I don't know, couldn't deal with it. And then eventually my brother became one of those people and he couldn't deal with it. And so for me, I honestly felt a huge responsibility because I felt that everything I knew about raising children was wrong. It had to be wrong. Something was wrong. Something was clearly very, very wrong. And so I ended up going down this whole path of education and going to community college. I was kind of pushed that direction. And then I got into early childhood education, which is very human development oriented. I was actually, I don't know if you know this, but I was a preschool teacher for I don't know, more like full-time, 9 years.
At a Scientology school or?
No,
okay.
at a non-Scientology.
Did you go to Delphi? Was there something about that?
I went to Delphi. So my
Oregon.
upbringing was when I was born, my family had almost like a compound. They were building a Scientology community in New Hampshire.
Okay.
That was my
That's
first.
what I heard. There was
Yeah.
something. And I do know
Yeah.
that you're very involved in that. You were born in it, and that your grandmother literally thinks you're the ex lifetime, whatever. So I've heard
Yeah.
about all that. But and today I was listening to your and Amir's conversation. Loved it, by the way.
Okay.
But I didn't realize that you were never in the Sea Org.
No, I've never been in
And
the
then
Sea
I
Org.
was like, wait, I remember her a while ago saying something about LSD and the
Yeah.
whole marijuana. And I was like, oh, that's why, but that's a huge thing. I like now
Yeah.
that I was listening to that literally on the way to the desert. And I was like, wow, Liz was never in the Sea Org, but you were I remember you, and you probably didn't know who the fuck I was. I remember the Liz Gales, that like everybody. I remembered all the famous, well-known Scientologists, and it didn't matter. Everybody in the Sea Org knew who they were. If you were at Flag, you knew who the Cummins were. You knew who all these big donators are, and not only donators, most of the time donators, but they also are huge Scientologists, like members, volunteer ministers, OT8s. They're all they're field staff members, where they're actually making more money somewhere from Scientology on the side, or they have business with Scientology. And I felt like you definitely always were a part of that. You were always part of some bougie, no offense, but some bougie fucking outer, not in the Sea Org, bougie, high up, which is just as bad as the Sea Org to a degree mentally. It doesn't matter. Like in the Sea Org, yeah, we were abused and physically worked and all the shit all the time. When you're an outside Scientologist, you're just as fucked up. Look at Tom Cruise. Okay, everybody is all okay with Tom Cruise being a Scientologist and being some huge fucking Hollywood star, but nobody actually understands like the detrimental situation that's happening to a human's brain under this control and under this stress. You're being watched 24/7. You just it's also a mental thing. You're being watched. You put your own ethics in. You're doing it to yourself. So as internal Sea Org members, yeah, sure, we handled our shit inside, and there was all kinds of illegal crap going on. But then it normalizes through Scientology kids, Scientology outside public Scientology
culture, the whole
totally
culture
normalized it, right? Where then you guys normalize the Sea Org. You guys say, oh well, like the Sea, we should be in the Sea Org, and so we can't be talking shit about them because they're the top of the planet, right? And so imagine if we swap positions. If I was in your position, you were in mine, you would see like the same thing, the same way you were like, I am not raising my kids in this. Why? Like, what made you think why?
Right. Well,
and was that part of going to be a teacher at a school and realizing, holy fuck, no kids are like this in Scientology schools? Or I don't know, what was your thing? I guess that's what I want to learn from you, because you're a mother and I want to know where I can't fathom having kids with these circumstances. And honestly, maybe that's why life hasn't given me any children. And if I don't, I understand now more. I understand. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, go ahead.
Life is crazy. Well, okay, to go back a little bit. So I had a very privileged Scientology upbringing, but still very institutionalized. Like, I was sent to boarding school at 8. And then after that, I only lived with my parents maybe a few months out of the year. And then I got kicked out of there. I mean, I was always living somewhere else. I was living in Florida with some random person, going to do my chairs and objectives. So I was very much like institutionally, I feel like, raised. We probably had better food than you. We probably had a lot less verbal abuse. But I don't know if you know this, but Delphi is like a little Sea Org. We had muster. We had point system. We had, we're doing we have work crew. We're doing ethics.
I actually worked at Delphi for a quick 6-7 months.
Yeah. So
and Catherine Spalino was a teacher there at the same. That's how I got the job, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. Just so but I definitely know Delphi. They are, and this is why you say that you're wasn't as strict, wasn't as abusement. No, I don't. I disagree. Like,
I'm sure it was as strict. It was very, very high control, but I don't think that we were subject to exactly the same abuse. Because we
No.
did have paying parents, like,
For sure.
for
sure.
so
So
I
you had
definitely
some
don't
nicer
want you to
food
think that
here
I'm
and
like, it
there.
was the same
No, and
at
I know, I
all.
feel like I'm saying that more. I'm feeling
Yeah.
like the outcome, the emotional outcome, trauma is the
It's
same.
the same.
And so I don't want to belittle other people's stories because we were born and raised in the Sea Org. It's fine.
Right.
We were just in a deeper fucking jail. It's still the same abuse. It's still the outcome. The outcome is still detrimental and fucking literally physical to the brain.
Yeah.
And to release it. And I'm telling you, like, I feel for some of my friends who are van lifers and like are like, fuck all of this. Like, no, because that's how their brain is able to heal. And like they can't there's a serious thing of long term. And as you get older, it gets worse. As you get older, it gets worse. Being able to cope with things, not understanding things sexually, it just gets worse and worse. So it's like having to clean it up. I have to clean it up. I have to make it make sense to me so that when I'm feeling and learning and growing more, it's not getting worse, it's getting better. I'm learning and I'm getting more, but I'm also, it's very fucking tricky.
Yeah. Do you
and I like almost didn't even want to do this live stream. I almost wasn't gonna, I was gonna do one by myself and just send a message to my mom and be like, who the fuck are you? Wake up. Like, and then I was like, I can't do this. And then when you messaged I remembered, I was like, oh my God, me and Liz both have our parents' freaking birthdays. And I was like, I think it is a meant to be thing because you have kids. And I don't know if I would have jumped on any other stream with somebody else who has kids that wasn't raised in this similarity thing and who doesn't have their mom still involved deeply in Scientology.
Yeah. Well,
so
I'm glad you're here. We do have this weird shared thing. And this, I don't know, not everybody gets it. And then when it hits you on the same day, like I know this time is coming every single year. I try my best. I'm conscious about it. I'm like, okay, I acknowledge it. I do all the things I could possibly do. And then the day rolls around and I still feel it. I feel it in my body. I feel it in my heart. I guess it's almost can be easier in some ways because I do have my kids that I feel as if I have a hard line on abuse that I understand more than abuse to myself. Like I put up with so much shit and I probably still would be, but I almost feel like it's kind of an out. I mean, it's a beautiful, wonderful thing and they're more than an out, but I can like definitively say I will not allow my kids to be anywhere near Scientology. And then the domino effect of that is I can't really have a relationship with my parents because they will be sneaky.
So not to bring up your kids thing, but like what happens when your kid decides to message your grandmother?
Well, and that's so hard, right? I mean,
I'm like, I would throw up and I wouldn't yell at my kid, but I would feel like I would want to. I would be like, and then I would hold up and be like, whoa, this isn't your kid. This isn't your kid's fault. And so I would just be left with this anger. I would be upset.
It was really challenging. I will tell you how we dealt with it. We dealt with it because he's just curious. I mean, and he knows that I do he's not in the house when I do these lives or anything, but he knows stuff, but he's getting more curious. And so I don't know.
I wonder if it's like a thing on his end. I wonder if he's like, you know, how we were as kids, like trying to write so-and-so in a letter so that maybe the spankings would change and they wouldn't be, you know, like, I wonder if it's one of those things where you're like, if he's like just trying to put out a little olive branch and maybe there's some sort of like humanity that will come from a grandson and he just kind of knows it. I don't know.
I think he got pissed because he got into fishing and he understands now a little bit more of the land that my mom just cut him out of, basically. I mean, my family came across on the Oregon Trail, homesteaded this land, and she basically said, you know, fuck you, nobody gets it anymore because you're not going to be a Scientologist and your kids won't be Scientologists. And so I think he kind of got that. So he told me that he wanted to like bitch her out, basically. He didn't say that word, but about the ranch. And I was like, whoa, bud, like hold the phone.
I love that though. How old is he?
He's 11. He's going on 12.
Oh my God.
And I honestly just tried to take it as an opportunity to explain to him more what had happened, and a little bit of my childhood. We were staying in a casino, like hotel, when this happened, and I acted out like 8C. Well, I think 8C is the touch the wall, thank you. I'm not sure what the number is. I think it's 8C. Anyway, I acted out some of the TRs and objectives to him, which are these very hypnotic, controlling, like ritual drills that are very freaking bizarre, you guys.
Yeah.
And I told him a little bit more about my mom, and I was like, listen, bud, I don't know what you want to get out of this, but she's not the one. Like, because he has grandmas. He does. My husband has parents, and they're warm and fuzzy and good. And I'm like, call one of them. They're the ones. And then I let him watch the Leah Remini video, my episode, which he'd never seen before. And I could not watch it with him. I was going to throw up. I couldn't be in the same room. So his dad watched it with him. Thank God, because somebody needed to, but I couldn't be the one. And he was just kind of like, man, that sucks. I'm sorry that all that happened. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know what to do. It's so complicated, and I just say to him, like, your grandma, she chose Scientology. Her belief system is very, very set into Scientology, and it's her value system puts Scientology at the top. And it's nothing to do with you. It is nothing to do with anything that you've done wrong or anything like that. I will take all the heat for that. Every single responsibility you can put onto my shoulders. But I have wondered, like, they sold the property for a ton of money. And like, did she save anything for my kids? I know that's kind of selfish or weird to think about, but I'm just kind of like, really? You really just cut them out cold-hearted like that because of me? You're going to ditch your own genetics. You had 2 children, lady. One died. One gave birth to 2 children. That's it. That's all you've got. And you're just going to cut them out like that? Okay.
It pisses me off. I feel that way about my brother. And I don't talk to my brother right now. He's literally fucking a complete mess. He's a complete mess.
Ugh.
And I feel like,
I'm sorry.
Okay, fine, mom and dad. Hate me.
Right.
What's your excuse for Colleen and Jarrett? Especially Jarrett, your oldest first son. What about him? Where's your fucking responsibility?
Right.
Like, you see, this is where my anger goes. Right.
No,
here.
I get it too.
Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about fucking you, mom. Let's talk about you and dad, father Phil Anderson.
Right.
Like, how is it that Scientology and Sea Org members get zero responsibility when it comes to actually putting their quote ethics in? If they had to actually fix their second dynamic, where was the first ounce of responsibility from my father? Never once have I ever heard my mother or father fucking apologize once for anything that happened in Scientology, for any of the children, for any of my brother or sister. For me, nobody. Never once have I ever heard them apologize.
That's so that I don't think Scientology's ever apologized in any way or through anybody or anything like that. And don't they realize they're making it so much worse? They even say no more kids.
They are literally making it so much worse.
So much worse. And they have the ability, actually, I think, to soothe a lot of this. I mean, maybe. What's done is done, but they're definitely making it worse. It's so frustrating.
And not only that, I'm finding out that the LRH birthday event is all about, like, basically the golden age of children.
Yes.
It's all about opening up course rooms for kids. And here we were fucking anybody. And I'm not even going to mention the toxic names on the fucking YouTube internets, which I actually haven't been watching, so I love it. But anybody who says anything valuable about Scientology helping children with communication courses, or saying that children are not being recruited into Scientology or the Sea Org, you're out of your mind. Go bark up a fucking tree. You literally have no idea what you're talking about. Don't talk about a subject you have zero experience in. When we literally are hearing that the event they're about to do and the one they already did is all about bringing in young Scientologists into Scientology and the Sea Org. Gross.
Yep.
Fucking barf, gross, barf, gross. I will say it forever. Children cannot consent. Children are not legally, literally, legally allowed to be doing Scientology. It's abusive. Scientology is abusive. The purification rundown is abusive. Forcing a child to be touched or touch anybody on any body part is abusive. Making them, forcing them to walk to a wall for fucking 11 hours a week, whatever it is, to and from, touch this with no emotional feelings, numbing your emotional feeling. You wonder why we're blowing up and fucking trying every drug on the planet. Scientology is so abusive, literally gives more problems and more calloused, stacked up fucking crap that we're all now having to unveil. And it's like, it's not our responsibility, but we're feeling it and we have to work it through, and we're doing that. And again, I'm trying to love my mom as much as I can, but it's like at a certain point, I thought about this. If there's a point where my mother and my father have to hate me for me to be able to be fully okay with exposing every abuse, then hate me.
Yeah.
Then do it. Why is it still acceptable? How much is hate? How much is hating me going to fix the problem, mother and father? How is that ever going to fix it? It never will. These children, these kids of Scientology will not go away. There's no way that you've used up almost all of our lives, and now we've been the last 3 years finally being able to speak out openly about it. There's no way you're taking that away from us. So if you have to hate us and not help your granddaughters and grandsons financially so that they can have a loving, beautiful life outside of Scientology, you're fucked up. You're literally opposite of family. You're the opposite of why life, the universe, whoever gives us this life, gives us this life. Why have birth? Why give birth to a child? Even in your own religion, in your own group, without following through with that concept, without that piece of art. Let's talk about giving a birth, giving life to a child and then fucking abusing them their whole life. What is the point? That is Scientology. Like them saying, like, it's so gross. So if you would have abused your kids and let your kids be in Scientology and all this right now, fine. You would be what? Stable financially?
I don't know.
So gross.
I would have had to sell a little bit of my soul to the devil, is the way I see it, in order to, but I don't know about you. I got to the point where, as much as I do love my mother and I can write off a lot of the things that she has done, if she would just be willing to take the slightest ounce of understanding and responsibility about how damaging some of it was, but she's never done that. She's never been willing to. I eventually, honestly, just gave up on the idea. I'm like, this is an old woman. She's getting older every day. She was raised in, or, even if you're not raised in Scientology, she gave all of her adult life energy to Scientology, and all of her money, all of her time, all of her everything, abandoned her children, part of my brother's death. And then,
when did your brother pass away, by the way? How long ago?
98, a long time ago.
It's not a long time ago. That's just so crazy that people did that all the time. And these are the people that unalive themselves that fully did it. There are so many people in the Sea Org still right now today that have literally tried to unalive themselves multiple times and are just being held in the Sea Org to stay longer. So it's not that they don't want to. They're being tortured on a daily basis. People still want to unalive themselves. And I don't mean to make that short. It's just the day, how it was done and everything. And then it's just like forgotten about.
Yeah.
No. Like,
I mean, it's definitely not forgotten about on my end. And, my brother is still
it's
around.
Not forgotten about. Right.
In a weird way. He still has a life, his life still has a story, which I find fascinating.
And it's still growing. People are still learning about him.
Yeah. And things come back to me through the universe in this crazy ways. But It's also kind of my Achilles heel sometimes, I think. I'm always just a little suspicious when people are like,
Yeah.
oh, your brother. And I'm like, what do you know about it? Not you, but like, you know, right? Like, are you trying to get to my heart? What's happening?
Yeah, totally.
But, you know, I mean, they've got to be sitting there. I know that as I get older, I start to reflect. And on these big days, I tend to reflect more, you know, on my birthday, like, or holidays, or, you know, just when culture puts your life back in your face. And it is weird to think that both of our moms are out there today enjoying their birthday to a certain degree. And just like, I don't know. I'm glad I'm not going to grow up to be them. You know, like we changed our path that on I don't know how old my mom is now. She's like early 70s. It's just the saddest thing in the world to me to think, what did it get you? What did it get you? And I think at that point, she has to hold on so deeply to this concept that she's OT8. The next life is going to be XYZ. The next go round is going to be XYZ. It's going to be better, or she's going to get off.
You know what I always think of? Sorry, I
You're
don't
fine.
mean it. I have to find a way to like not cut people off, but be like, wait, let me attach something to what you're saying right
You're
there.
fine. Go ahead.
I always think of when David Miscavige is always at the events when he's talking about like the, you know, and in 20 years, like he was always like, you know, the planet within, you know, we're not going to have, I always think this is our last chance.
Yes.
We've already tried this before and we will not have this chance ever again. And so I always think that my parents have this stuck, obviously hypnotized, repetitive thing in their minds where they're literally thinking, what if I did leave and I get declared? Because they're already thinking if I leave, I'm going to probably end up getting declared. If they're they're going to push it that far. I'm going to get, like, if they did the thinking of it.
Right. And they'll lose everything. And who wants to start over at 7
Right. But what if
old?
next lifetime there is no starting over? Because they didn't do it this lifetime.
Because it all matters on, what is that quote? Like, it all depends on the here and now, what you do with Scientology in this lifetime. I think people underrate what a doomsday cult Scientology is. There is this constant pressure that this is the only time out of a billions and trillions of years. And we have this sliver of hope that we could save humanity if we only just dedicated our lives and our children's lives and their children's lives. Just this little sliver of 100 years compared to 1 trillion years. Just give it your all, you know?
Yeah.
I fell for that. And I remember that feeling. And I remember
I think it's an easy, it's a fucked up feeling. It's a fucked up feeling because it allows people to unalive themselves easily.
Absolutely.
Because they think, you know what, if this is really too stressful for me,
right,
boom, and I'll just come back and join the Sea Org next lifetime and I'll be ready for this.
Right. And there's not a lot of things that say you shouldn't do that either. Like, it's almost a cause thing that you would choose to leave your body. Of course, there's always that information missing. I don't know about you, but when I heard about people passing away or unaliving themselves, other than my brother, it was usually after the fact. Sometimes I'd find out a week later, 2 weeks later.
Yes.
I found out a year later. And I was like, what the hell? Okay. But you never really know how they did it, or like, it's kind of.
It's M theta. It's all M theta. That's what they use. They wouldn't tell me specifically how Alex Nunn died. Specifically, how did Sarah Leobard try to unalive herself at the Ant Ranch by drinking lye, fucking chemical that was used for processing curing plants. Yes. They wouldn't tell me.
That is not fun.
And this is just some of the things that were totally normal.
I know three for sure, but maybe 4 people who drank bleach. Because you do get to this point. I mean, I got to a point, I didn't drink bleach, but I did attempt when I was 14 years old because I had signed my Sea Org contract and I knew I'd have to go in, and I just felt like I had a prison sentence over my head and I didn't know what to do. And that did seem like a more viable option than leaving. I literally didn't know that there was a way I could leave. Of course, at 14, is there? I mean, I would have had to run away.
Right. And, I felt this exact same way at the ranch. I was like, where do I go?
Right. There's nowhere.
Where do I go? Mentally and physically. Physically and mentally. Where do I go? I don't even know how to think about the outside world. I didn't even know how the outside world works. Like,
and it was scary, right? It was
It
like,
was
for
super
first
scary.
of all, we spoke a totally different language too. What are you supposed to do? Run out there and be like, "Excuse me, police officer, I was, I'm PTS type 2 or type 3 and they're, keeping me in isolation. I have to do all this stuff." And you're trying to talk Scientology and you're like, "I'm getting a PTS handling and I had to write up my OWs and I didn't FN and now they
I
red
pulled
tagged
it in.
me."
I pulled it
Yeah.
in, but I
Exactly.
just,
Now I'm RPF'd. Like, people are like, "What the hell?" I
they're
mean,
like, so then why don't you go back?
right.
If you feel so bad, why don't you go back? It literally, that's to a normal person in the outside. They would think, well, like, if you really feel bad about leaving, why don't you go back?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Blow Drill
yeah,
said
that
in the
was the
chat,
biggest fear.
we
Sorry.
should probably put this up really quickly, that if anybody needs to take a break, I'm so bad about trigger warnings. I just should have a trigger warning on my forehead. Anything I ever say or do is probably a trigger warning.
I mean, that's why I wore that warning shirt all on my stage into City Hall and stuff. It's like, warning, warning. Like, I'm like, I am the crime, the evidence of the crime scene. Do not touch me.
Right. Right.
It
Oh,
is heavy.
man.
It is, but also me and Liz knew that every year we like kind of go through this. We're like, oh gosh, the mom's March 19th birthday. And there's a lot of trained behavior in our community and in our own families, and I mean that in real, like my family that I don't talk to anymore or whatever, or they don't speak to me. There's even unhealed habits and things of how we're supposed to fix or handle each other. And it's uncomfortable already to know or to catch yourself being like, oh shit, I really do this or I feel this way and it makes me want to do this when somebody brings up this. But then realizing, wait, I was wrong about that this whole time. It's not just like, oh, okay, taking acceptance of whatever we're learning as we're learning, but it's also like, you realize that how much we have to unlearn and then how much we also have to learn again. Like that we haven't learned, that we still haven't learned. And we're only going to learn by being curious and literally asking questions and getting in trouble and seeing the consequences of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My biggest fear, for real, my biggest fear is probably what's going to happen. Oh shit, now I'm going to cry. I was so close to not crying today about this. Is that my mom is just getting old. And one day I'm just going to get a call that she passed away 2 weeks ago or 3 months ago. And there's not, I don't know. It's like, and then it's like, well, I could reach out, I could try something, but there's nothing there, you guys. There's nothing there. In order for her to have a relationship with me, she would have to compromise her entire concept of mortality and existence. Like, it would, because no one is telling her that she can't be with me. She believes in the tech, and the tech tells her that if she's connected to somebody who's antagonistic towards Scientology, and you bet your ass I'm about to get a lot more antagonistic, because I saw that kid shit too, and I'm pissed, but we'll talk about that another day. So she self does this as well, because it's like I'm dangerous. She's been convinced that having a relationship with me would be physically and spiritually dangerous for her. And I don't want her to experience that. I don't want her to live in that fear or to lose everything in her 70s. We're talking about every friend she has, every colleague she has. Maybe there's a few others, but like everybody. And I know how hard it was for me to process things in my 20s and 30s and now in my 40s. And I mean, I consider that fairly young, but it's still so hard. I don't wish it on her. So I'm not going to reach out to her. I'm not going to encourage my kids to have a relationship with her. I'm not going to chastise them for trying, I guess. And so it just feels like, I don't know, maybe I end up just like her. Like, I guess just let it go and like, see you next time around. Maybe reincarnation is a thing, and maybe we are stuck in this pattern because, like you said, I had this idea. I was raised as my own grandmother reincarnated, and through my research, I could see a way where DNA could like link spiritually sort of people, and we could sort of keep rattling around with the same spirits. I don't know. But that doesn't seem impossible to me. And so there is a part of me that's just like, I don't know, dude. Peace. See you next time. And let's fucking hope we're not born as Siamese twins or some shit, because it's going to get really messed up. But that's just where I go, because the other place.
I also think that it literally, I think Below Drill or somebody just put in earlier in the chat that it only takes 13 minutes or something for somebody, I don't know, for the sun to rise or whatever, like again, the next day. And it's like, I almost think we have so much hope and so much love or whatever we're learning. And we're like, we want to be almost good to our parents, being like, look, I got you out of this. We got our love got us out of this. And I feel like it only takes like 10 minutes, 13 minutes tops to like get somebody out mentally if we are given that 10, 13 minutes. So I think that's what we hold on to. I think we hold on. And I have the biggest fear. One of my biggest fears too is getting that call. And there's no reason that we wouldn't. And there's no, it's a very much real thing. 75% chance that could happen.
Yeah. I think in my case, it's, we're looking at 99.9. I mean, I always would hold out hope for a miracle. And on my end, I don't know. I guess I just I have just tried to be as zen. I can't tell if I'm being zen or if I'm totally disassociating. I'm not totally sure, guys. It could be one or the other. My mom, like you had mentioned earlier about like your mom kind of protected you. Through many years of therapy, I've realized my mom continuously put me in Scientology institutions that I would come into conflict with and had punishments from. And then about 30% of those, she would swoop in. She would say, no, here's the right tech, and kind of save me some heartache. And so I used to look up to her so much that, gosh, she was a hero figure in my life. But now that I've kind of realized more, well, she was the one who put me in those situations in the first place. And then she would swoop in like a hero, which is far more sinister. And it just makes me feel weird to like, do I even owe her anything? Do I even owe her like this?
I ask myself, I literally try.
Why do I give a shit?
I don't want to be selfish. I love being not selfish. I love fucking helping other people. I love love. I love it. And so like, I go back to that all the time. I'm like, Mom, what do I need to apologize for?
Right.
Please let me see the light. What do I need to apologize for?
Yeah. I don't know. What we've done is, though, we have committed high crimes. We are criminals in the eyes of Scientology. I mean, that is it, right? We have committed the high crime of a million of them, but publicly departing Scientology, talking crap about Scientology. And
because we do it we enjoy getting high.
Oh, yeah. Well, for sure. There's
major high crimes. Major high crimes.
I find that really interesting. Just on a really quick side note here, we're talking about cannabis. I always had to do Way to Happiness, and it would say, don't do anything illegal. And that was always my handle. But I'm in Oregon, and we have recreational cannabis here. I'm of age. So, like, doesn't hold up anymore. But I'm not about to go into the Scientology, the Oregon, try and argue that.
No, but when I first was hearing about your story and like learning, I was like, oh, she likes weed. I was like, okay, maybe it was one of the things where I was like I was more interested in your story. And then when you wrote that book, I was like, what the heck? I was like, oh, this is such a good idea. It just reminded me that there were so many little things in life that are so beautiful, and they could be marijuana. It could be a freaking delicious papaya that you got like from your neighbor. It's like, there's so many little beautiful joys of life. And it's so interesting how we judge and spit on something just because it's different for somebody else. I don't know, like Scientology obviously attacks all kinds of drugs, but when it comes to abuse or mental awareness or health, you're literally damaging the brain. and like
Yeah.
overdoing niacin on like, what the hell? Like, where does your common sense comes from? You're just as bad as somebody, or maybe you're not as bad as somebody on drugs. Maybe you're worse, you know. Maybe you should be doing a little bit of drugs to stop being so freaking evil. But yeah, so it's
Can you imagine just like
can you imagine
starting
smoking a joint with your
brownies? Who wants
mother?
brownies? Sea Org members are hungry. Brownies for everybody. Teeny tiny dosed brownies.
I remember I sent, I don't know, I think I don't know. These days I literally don't believe my mom. Mother, if you're listening, I don't believe you. I don't trust you. I don't believe you. I don't believe when I sent you the hand cream for your arthritis if you actually used it. I don't believe you. I think you were like, oh, this has some drugs in it. Threw it away. I don't believe your love because you don't know your love, mother. You don't know how loving you can be. And I feel I feel like the last time my mother felt so loving was not at Gold Base, was probably at Canada Org, you know, where she was out, where she was just, you know, not under the control of David Miscavige. And when you're under the control of David Miscavige for so long, literally, like my mom does the events for the videos that line up to David Miscavige's speech for all these events. So, and more, she does like whatever needs to be edited and this, pull this from the, record all of the M theta and send it to RTC. Like she has to do all this without even watching it herself. So pretty pathetic, mother. Somebody who literally has to edit and do this as a job, a indentured servant job for 50 plus years now. Can't even listen, can't watch, can't even edit her own videos, let alone, hey, mama, you could help me. You could teach me some editing. I would absolutely learn from you. If you want to teach me something, I'm down. But like, where's your life? Again, we go, where's your life? Mom, are you just, am I going to get a call 3 months, 2 months after? Is your son or your family member saying 3 more minutes, Liz, 3 more minutes?
No, but my husband did just get back from
cute
where he was.
Oh, you were giving him the cute, like, hi.
I haven't kissed him in 2.5 days.
That was cute. I was like, was that a cute little? Anyway, so yeah, I feel I'm right there with you. It's not comfortable.
Yeah.
Heber Gents it was just announced that he passed away, and me, Audit, Ashley, there was a bunch of us doing research trying to figure out if Heber Gents was actually in Glendale, what it did. And I was like, what if he's already dead? This was 2 months ago. I said this to Ashley and Audit LA. I literally said, what if Heber Gents is already dead and they just haven't put it out? I say, otherwise he would be like 90 something years old, right?
Yeah.
2 months later, we found out he was already dead 3 months ago.
Yeah. And can you imagine being an old person in there? At some point, when you can't make products, like you can't do statistics, they're probably encouraging you to like drop your body. You know? I mean, what?
Drop the body.
Yeah. Okay, well, we should really wrap up here so I can kiss my husband. But I'm feeling a little Pollyanna. I'm feeling a little like, let's turn this shit pile into a flower pile.
Me too. I just really wanted to say I have on this day, I have to be aware with myself. I tell myself, hey, let people around you know you're a little sensitive. This isn't a day to make any fucking jokes or, you know, it's just not. It's not a day. This is not a day to make jokes.
Don't make a fucking joke, you joker integrator.
Yeah, but like even like when the van was just dumb little things where I'm like, oh, I could really use a mother hug right now. And I won't get that. And I know there's a lot of people in the chat that love us, and I love you all too.
To hug you, yeah.
But I'm here, Liz.
Everybody hug right now yourself like this and squeeze really hard so that Lara feels it. Everybody.
So I'm going to take it easy. I want you to take it easy too. But I'm glad that we were able to just be uncomfortable together.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I wasn't sure when I texted you. I thought it was a little weird. I was like, hey, remember how our disconnected moms have the same birthday? Want to grieve about it, essentially. So thank you for being here for me today. I feel, honestly, I feel less alone.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that very, very much.
Thanks. I do too. Yeah. And thank you for remembering me when you were also having a difficult day as well. And we knew this yesterday. So, and to all you moms and everybody out there, we know how you fucking feel. If you're not with your mother and you've had these issues, and it doesn't even have to be Scientology.
No.
If you've had these issues, we're with you and we love you and we understand, and you're not alone, because we all have these moments of uncomfortability. And
Absolutely.
so, yeah. And look at our timing is 1:11.
Oh, okay. Well, let's get out of here before
we can stop at 11 exact seconds.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, bye everybody. Wait, 1, 2, 3, go. Oh, it blew it. It kept going. I totally blew it, guys.
She knows herself, she finds her way. Through art and joy, she shapes each day, crafting beauty from the past.